Okay, looks like we are live. At least I think we are. Let me just double check. Yes, we are. All right, so 1 second here, folks. I just want to get to the feed here because I need to be able to see your comments. All right, so they'll come up over here. I think we'll be okay. All right, so check this out. All right, we're good. All right, so check this out. So what I want to do in this video is I'm going to walk you through my new professional site. And so what is a professional site? So you've seen these potentially in the past, but it's where somebody effectively takes the content that would otherwise be in their resume and they post it online. It's static. At one time, it was kind of cool, right? But in this age, with all these amazing AI tools, you can do so much better. So I'm going to walk you through my new professional site. And I want to move fast, but then I don't want to move fast. So if I can get this done in about 10 minutes, right? But it'll keep you interested if you're interested. If this is not your sort of thing, I'm sure there's some other cat videos you could be watching. But this is going to be something different, something you probably haven't seen before. And again, built 100% using AI tools. Okay, so let me quickly say to you that in the world of AI, so we're all familiar with generative AI. This is where you go to a prompt, type some stuff, get some information out, pictures, videos, whatever. I am going to show you capabilities that use what's called agentive AI, which is where you have agents who are doing work for you, and then other integrations that you can do. Just let me show you, right? And then again, you can ask me questions, whatever. I'm going to try to keep an eye on this, but let's just jump in. And I'm doing this because the last time I did one of these, you guys jumped in, gave me great comments. So I know that some people are paying attention and are interested in kind of where the world is going. All right. So let's do this. Okay. So hopefully you are seeing this. If not, let me see. Did that do it? There you go. Okay. All right. I just kind of jumped on here. So again, you guys know if this was like my podcast, it'd be all kinds of intros and all this sort of stuff. Anyway, so check out my site. So the typical stuff you might expect to see, right, on a professional site, but I'm kind of dual purposing my site. But I want to walk you through some of the features that are here. And again, 100% built with AI. As a matter of fact, let's just jump over here really quickly. This is actually some of the code that is used to build this site. So, you know, I didn't write one line of this. I haven't read it. I mean, maybe a little bit, just to refamiliarize myself. But the beauty of this is hundreds and hundreds of lines of code to produce this application. And it's all done right here from this prompt with me essentially saying, here's what I want to do. And I want to make this sound super simple, but this part does get a little bit involved because you have to kind of think through what you want to do, right? So, all right, so let's jump over here to my site. So again, the look and feel, all AI. The video that you see running is what's called a hero video, and that was created using Sora under OpenAI, or what you would call Chat GPT. And then I can come down here to the services. So executive coaching, my professional coaching program, Pivot, and then AI strategy and implementation. And each one of these is complete with information, kind of what you expect, right? I'm not here to drag you into the content, but you can schedule an intro call with me. We'll talk about that, how all those integrations work. Okay, so we had the services. Here you have sort of an overview of my experience, and to be really direct with you, I kind of started it that way, but I'm going to change that and move that to somewhere else and replace that with other content, because maybe the first thing you want to see is not my experience. So, but anyway, so services, not going to take you through all that. Here's some reviews of people that I've worked with. Again, more on sort of my coaching program. All right, so now let's get into it. So what you see here are some articles. There'll be more in the future, but this is sort of to get everything set. So when I say the images, all created with AI, notice that cool little 3D feature. It's just a request to make the site stylish and modern looking and give it those behaviors. And then these articles are based on my content, but I didn't write this article, and we'll talk more about how I did that, because it's pretty cool stuff. All right, let's get out of here, and then we'll go further down, and then there's some audio content. And so there's another tool out there, and there's a free version of it that I advise you to take advantage of, and it's by Google, and it's called Notebook LM. And it allows you to take any content, a document, a series of documents, and allow you to turn it into whatever you want, right? So let's say you did a bunch of research and you want to turn it into notes or exams or articles or blogs or whatever. But one of the really neat features is the ability to take that content and turn it into a podcast. So check this out. So I simply gave it the documents, I pushed a button, and I don't know how much of this you're going to be able to hear.
All right, so imagine this. You're about to launch this business with your partner.
You might be getting an echo.
Everyone's super pumped.
Yeah.
But then comes that dreaded question, how are we going to divide up the ownership, the pie? How do
Okay, so I'm going to stop it because I'm getting an echo. I don't know if you're getting an echo, but what I need you to know is these are all podcast style content that I've been able to add to my website. So effectively, it's looking at or reviewing my information, again, my content, and then turning it into this, which is really, really cool. So introspection and action, equity, accountability, transparency, and new businesses. This is actually a fascinating concept. You should check it out. All right. But let's go into how this is all maintained. So one of the other things that is built into this site is a CMS, as some of you all would know, or a content management system. And this is where I'm able to add this information to the site. So as I acquire new articles, upload the images, give it the text, and we're off to the races. Elements that you saw in the profile. So the pictures, all of that biographical information, experience, education, all that stuff is here. Those audios I just talked about are all uploaded here. And so not only is it a full operational professional site, it actually has a content management system built into it. I don't care what you say. That's pretty dope. All right. So let's get to this. This is probably one of the best features of this site, and then we'll talk about some other things. All right. So if you're in business, if you're a professional, if you're a leader, you probably have content. You probably have information out there, things that you've created, things that you've thought about. And so for me, I keep all of that information and it is stored in an external repository and it has an AI assistant that sits on top of that. So what I'm going to show you is a feature that's called Chat with Virtual Jat, right? Jat is me. So those are my initials. But notice what it says here. It says, ask me about my experience, leadership, strategy, AI, innovation, pivot coaching programs, shooting lower golf scores, or whatever's on your mind. All right. And so what I want you to know is when I type in this chat box, it goes to another system. It goes through an agent that sits on top of my content, and then it produces the output and sends it back here. All right, so let's do something basic. Tell me about Jerry's professional experience. Something simple. And let's see what we get. All right, here we go. It says I'm a seasoned professional over 25 years. Da 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 da. Teams I've managed, budgets I've managed. So just a basic little overview. But let's go even further because I've written some books. Let's say it right. Jesus, man, learn to type. Write a comprehensive and compelling review of Jerry's book. Let's do it this way. Create the output in article form. Let's see what we get. And I don't see any questions just yet. Let me see here. No questions yet. All right, so let's go back. Let's see what we got. Wow, this is comprehensive. I did say comprehensive, didn't I? All right, so this is a review of my book, Principles of the Live Free Lifestyle. In a world of self-help books, often promises fixes, but deliver little substance. That's a nice start. Thank you so much for that. Journey inspired by personal experience, structure and approach, core themes and principles, practical wisdom. So we could do this all day. Let's just do one. Let's do one more though. Give me some tips on professional development. Let's see what we get here. What's up, Drewski? Dwayne's here. Rab. Okay, let's get down. Here we go. Professional development tips from Jerry A. Thompson. But I think you kind of get the sense what's going on here. But let's see what we're talking about. Focus on value proposition for facts. Practice intentional engagement. Facts. Increase your visibility. Develop flexibility and resilience. Build strategic relationships. Invest in daily habits. Embrace change and yeah, that's all stuff. And if you read the content, actually read it, and you've ever read any of my other content from my books and so forth, it's going to sound very much like me. All right, last one. Got to do this because we have other content. Let's do something golf related. Give me 2 tips to lower my golf scores. And again, this is all being pulled from a separate repository and brought back to my professional site. All right, you get 2 tips. let's see what we got here. 2 tips: embrace strategic course management. Yeah, it's right from the book. There you go. So that's that. In another video, maybe I'll actually show you guys how that integration was done. But then we do still have basic features, right? The simple stuff you would expect. So we kind of talked about my books. They're all here. But if you click these will actually take you to Amazon. And then I do have a merch site for my hashtag Live Free. It says $1. You know it's not $1. But at any rate, so you get to see basic things like that.
All right, so imagine this. You're about to launch this business with your partners.
Does she start talking
Everyone's
again?
super pumped.
Why did
Yeah.
she start
But
talking?
then-
Okay. To figure out why that, I don't know why that just happened. Anyway. All right. So let's talk about the last 2 integrations and I'll let you go. So let's go schedule an intro call. Okay. So what happens here is you get to choose what type of intro call you want, right? Business coaching intro call or for my coaching program. Let's say it's for coaching. And let's go ahead and book it. Let's just make it for another day. Pick a window. And then it's going to ask me to complete all this information. I'm not going to go through all of this, or should we? Let's just go ahead. I think it's going to tell me yeah, continuous guest. I don't know. Just make up stuff. This will be for real though. Jesus, man. Let's call it my new company, LLC. Then I can add a note. This says, please teach him how to type. Jeez. All right, and we'll add that, and then we'll book the appointment. And so I will get a notification about this booking. So let's see if it came into my Gmail. Is that where it's going? I gotta remember where these emails are going. That is, oh, there it is. Okay. There's the new from Tim Davis. And then it allows me to accept or decline. Not going to walk you through all that, but that's how that integration works. And that's done using what's called Square integrations or Square appointments. So let's go back. Okay. What I want to show you lastly, let's do the contact form. So this is different. So this is not about appointments. Pete Savage. My other email address. Optional. General inquiry. Yep. How do you do this? And then it sends a message. So this uses a separate integration on a platform called Resend. And that's how the mail gets handled. And we get a confirmation message that it was sent. And let's just pop back over here to my email and see, oh, there you go. Yeah, from the contact form. It's Savage, blah, 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 blah. All right, got it. All right, so here's what I want to say as I kind of wrap this. Is the ability to do things like this, like, so for me, I consider these things to be very doable, but I also did start my career as a programmer, and I think that I think in such a way to be able to do things like this. I'm structured, I'm strategic, but I think that these tools, as they continue to mature, will allow you to do some very, very phenomenal things. Some may be very simple, some may be more complex. In the last video, I showed you my task management system that I built that I'm actually using on a daily basis. That's a fairly simple app that I could make more complex. So, nonetheless, been on here for 20 minutes. If you've been watching, that's great. I appreciate it. But I'm doing this for you. So, like I said, if you haven't seen me posting and doing other things, I'm heads down. I'm learning because I intend to build on and deliver value to people like you. All right. So, hit me with questions. I didn't see anything come into the chat. So, but we'll be watching. All right. Make it happen. Peace out.